These 2025 NBA playoffs absolutely living up to the hype, the intensity, upsets, madness, and legacy-defining moments from generational greats continues to pave the game forward. Most years, the clear-cut best team ends up hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy, but sometimes real contenders and title favorites end up getting upsetted in the second round. Many of the craziest semifinals upsets happened these last couple years, leaving fans speechless, those contenders left in shambles. 12 most shocking second round upsets in NBA history, starting with the 2018 Raptors getting swept by bronze Cavs, posted a franchise best 59 wins. It was the year the duo of DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry were supposed to make a deep run, the most wide open East in the LeBron era. Having home court against an inferior Cavs team, many had Cleveland winning the series strictly due to LeBron's greatness. That wasn't the upset part. What's most shocking was how Toronto got swept. An absolute evisceration of LeBron's domination ripped the team to shreds after a massive Toronto choke job game 1. Endless chance to win it only to lose by a point. James delivered his game 2 masterclass, hit a series of tough fadeaway jumpers, near impossible shots, made it look too easy, put up an unreal 43, 14, and 8 masterpiece. Every time Bron had the ball, it was automatic from everywhere. Single-handedly crushed the entire confidence of the Raptors team. DeRozan later benched game 3. Bron single-handedly had identical numbers to Lowry and DeMar combined. Finished off game 3, the iconic buzzer-beating runner on one leg, made it a 3-0 series lead. The final nail in the coffin, forcing Masai Ujiri to trade for Kawhi Leonard. James was simply on another level. Those playoffs, one of the most insane carry jobs and shocking sweeps we'll ever witness. 2016 67-win San Antonio getting upset by OKC. The series that led to Tim Duncan's retirement. If it wasn't for Golden State's 73-win record-breaking season, these Spurs would have likely been more talked about for their regular season success and massive second-round disappointment. Being in position to catch Golden State, the Dubs had to keep pushing the gas on the pedal to break the 96 Bulls record just to hold off San Antonio late in the season. 14 of 17 ESPN panelists had the Spurs winning. They were supposed to meet Steph Curry in the conference finals, especially after Game 1 blowout, but the young legs of KD and Russ proved too much for the aging Big Three. It was mostly LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi carrying San Antonio. The speed of the young guns, with the big powerful duo of Serge Ibaka, Enes Kanter, and Steven Adams, overwhelmed the Spurs on the glass. KD and Russ clutch shot making prevailed them to victory game 5 after San Antonio tied the 86 Celtics, posting a 40-1 home record. OKC beat the Spurs twice in their house for the series, resulting in a 37-point closeout game 6 by Durant. The ageless Tim Duncan seemed like he was gonna be good forever, but all of a sudden had nothing left in the tank. Boris Diaw was washed. David West too old. The length and athleticism of OKC made them severely underrated. Game 2 resulted in the controversial end of gameplay with Dion Waiters inbounding the ball pushing off Ginobili, but the Spurs had their chances after getting the steal, they just didn't capitalize. Many argue had San Antonio beat OKC this series, they would have beaten Golden State, then Cleveland to win the title. We'll never know. 2022 Phoenix getting upset by Luka's Mavs. 20 out of 20 ESPN panelists had the 64-win all-time regular season Suns, the squad that made the finals the previous year. The consistent near-perfect starting 5 of CP3, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. Many had them winning it all. The minus 295 odds were in the story, but how the Game 7 went down will forever live in NBA infamy. Given the heavy consequences to follow, this Suns franchise absolutely going nowhere ever since. The beginning of the end of Devin Booker's time contending in the Valley. After mocking Luka up 3-2, Doncic coldly responded, absolutely proceeded to destroy, abuse, annihilate, humiliate the entire city in one of the most merciful performances all time, tearing everybody to shreds, whether it's breaking Cam Johnson's ankles, taunting Book, or backing down DeAndre Ayton, making the franchise never forget they passed him up for the #1 pick, drafting somebody who don't even like basketball. CP3 and Book left absolutely shook. The Suns franchise literally got sent to the shadow realm ever since. From blowing a 2-0 series lead, it was supposed to be Golden State Phoenix for West Finals. The blowout May 15, 2022, arguably the worst day in Phoenix Suns franchise history. Mavs second option Jalen Brunson outplayed every Sun not named Devin Booker that series. 2011 Lakers getting swept by eventual champions Dallas Mavericks. The year Dirk shocked the world. Despite both LA and Dallas having the same exact record, the Lakers with Kobe and Pau were dominating the West for years, coming off 3 straight finals. The two-time defending champs look to cap off a three-peat. Every time Phil Jackson wins a title, he's always bound for a three-peat, until Dirk Nowitzki happened. Dallas, on the other hand, considered just a great regular season team filled with massive playoff disappointments every year. The Lakers, being a -360 favorite, proven to be old, slow, and worn out, got demolished Game 4 by 36 points. Ron Artest suspended for his grab on JJ Barea. Pau Gasol had one of his worst series, had problems with his then girlfriend at the time. Dirk also balled out of his mind, averaged over 25 and 9 for the series on ridiculous 57, 94, 73 shooting splits. Kobe's knees were shot, underwent knee surgery in Germany after the playoffs. The Lakers blew away Game 1 and 3 after having leads to start the fourth quarter. The Mavs pick and roll and ball movement exploded the Lakers' lack of speed and failures on defensive rotations. Dallas made 49 threes in the series compared to LA's 15. The Mavs outing the Lakers just as surprising as beating Miami in the finals. 1983, Boston getting swept by Milwaukee. Larry Bird quoted, "I've never been this embarrassed in my entire career, and I'll live with that for the rest of my life. A humiliating defeat." After this series, Larry Legend never swept again. From looking like future dynasties, after winning the 81 title, Boston went from 63 to 56 wins. Heavily favored against the 5 fewer win Bucks. Team had way too much talent, traded for two-time All-Star Scott Wedman, a player used to playing 30 minutes a game, reduced to just 12. Team record before him, 28 and 9, fell to 23 and 17 with Wedman playing. Lots of frustrating players, guys getting tired of head coach Bill Fitch, the odd man out, later replaced by the more calm Dwayne Casey. This week resulted mostly in lack of effort. Boston failed to score 100 points each of the 4 games, out-rebounded every one of those contests. Bird didn't play Game 2 due to illness. After the loss, everybody pointed fingers at one another. It was only the mature Bird that blamed the loss on himself. It didn't take long for these Celtics to finish back on top, winning the title the following year. 2020 bubble, 1-seeded Milwaukee Bucks and best player in the game, Giannis Antetokounmpo, on his way to winning a second MVP, also won Defensive Player of the Year. Milwaukee's supposed to win over 60 games until COVID happened. Given the unpredictable circumstances and how the league reacted with Jacob Blake, Milwaukee, one of the teams that wanted out of the bubble, even protested Game 5 against the Magic, postponing play, ruining their momentum. Miami, on the other hand, came in hot, swept the Pacers round 1. Many had the upsetting the Bucks based on Bam's interior defense on Giannis. Coach Spoelstra literally took a page out of Toronto's playbook from the previous season, built a wall around Giannis. The red-hot Jimmy Butler set the tone, dropped the 40-piece Game 1. An unfortunate foul from Giannis on Jimmy sealed the winning free throws Game 2. Miami then snatched the soul out of the Bucks Game 3, came back down 11 in the 4th. Outscoring the Bucks 40-13 final 12 minutes, closed out the series in 5. Giannis suffered an ankle injury Game 4, didn't play the last game. Playoff Jimmy and Goran Dragic overwhelmed the weak backcourt of George Hill and Eric Bledsoe. No surprise why the Bucks won the following season after getting rid of Mr. Playoff No-Show for the better Drew Holiday. 2010, Cavs upsetted by Boston, a -480 favorite. Bron, being on a mission all year, won his second straight MVP with the addition of Shaq and Antoine Jamison, 61 wins. The year Kobe and Bron were supposed to meet in the finals, the Celtics were supposed to fade out despite their big 3 at full strength, given Garnett's return from injury. Boston only had 50 regular season wins, easily dismantled Dwayne Wade's Heat in 5. Looking back, seeing how loaded the Celtics actually were, there was no surprise they won the series. First 2 game split, The difference maker, Rajon Rondo playing like a superstar. Celtics warmed Cleveland, blowing them out on the road Game 5, resulting in a 110-88 win, led by a more balanced offense. LeBron himself had one of his worst ever games, a poor 15 points on 3 of 14 shooting, the most passive game he's ever played in a Cavs uniform. Boston had controlled much of Game 6, led by Rondo and Garnett. The whole storyline after the series was Bron's free agency decision that eventually shook the entire world. Had James and the Cavs won this series, perhaps he would have never went to Miami. LeBron overachieved with this squad in the regular season, led to insurmountable championship or bust expectations for the playoffs. 1981, Kansas City over Phoenix, a 40-win team eliminating number 1, 57-win Suns. Having star players Otis Birdsong and Phil Ford sidelined with injuries, the Kings slowed their style down, holding Phoenix to under 100 points 5 of the 7 games. Scott Wedman's go-ahead winning basket Game 3 proved to be the difference maker. Team got all the momentum ever since. Phoenix, having a loaded squad with Dennis Johnson, Walter Davis, Alvin Adams, and Chuck Robinson, had title aspirations but failed. The franchise was supposed to make a deep run, but losing to a team that didn't even finish 500, an absolute failure of a season. This season's 64-win Cavs losing to the Pacers, minus 550 favorite. Cleveland going 36-5 at home against teams not named the Pacers, only to be winless when Indy goes to their house, goes to show they have Cleveland's number. Led by superstar Tyrese Halliburton, super fast pace, well-conditioned squad, team-oriented style, exposed the liabilities of a small Garland-Mitchell backcourt. Even with the injuries to Garland's toe, Evan Mobley's ankle, and DeAndre Hunter's wrist, this series should have still gone at least 6 or 7 games, but falling in 5 after winning 64 games, an absolute travesty of a failure season for Cleveland. From a 7-point collapse last minute of Game 2 to Mitchell's missed free throws Game 5, Rick Carlisle simply outcoached Kenny Atkinson, had Cleveland playing out of their system, too much ISO possessions. The final 20 games of the regular season, Pacers going 15-5, Cleveland 12-8, should have been a wake-up call for everybody. Magic Johnson's Lakers 1990, number 1 seed, getting upset by the Phoenix Suns. The 3-time MVP looked to continue on Showtime's legacy. 1 year after Kareem retired, led the Lakers to a league best 63 wins. The Suns, a good team of their own, led by the trio of Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers, and Jeff Hornacek, had other ideas. Given the Lakers made the finals 7 of the previous 8 years and 8 of their last 10, Suns head coach Cotton Fitzsimmons snapped a 37-game losing streak at the Forum. It was LA that swept Phoenix previous season's conference finals. Many believed the Lakers would sweep them again, but the Suns' game plan worked to perfection, allowing Magic to beat them by scoring as long as they shut down all the other guys, which worked perfectly. Magic averaged over 30 points for the series, but every Laker outside of him and James Worthy held to under 14 points a game. After upsetting the Lakers in 5, teams celebrated by spending a night in LA. A shocking result. This was basically Phoenix's championship that season. Proceeded to lose to the Blazers in 5 the conference finals. It was the youth and young legs that wore out the Lakers in the fourth quarters. The earliest Magic Johnson's been sent home since 1981. This series led to the end of the Pat Riley Showtime era. Many of the Laker players blame his tactics on the grueling practices, burning the team to the ground, having no more legs. So much for winning Coach of the Year. 2025 Boston Celtics getting bounced by the Knicks. A minus 800 favorite. The mecca of basketball going back to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Decades of excruciating failure, painful regular seasons, to the Alexei Shved, Lou Amundsen, Andrea Bargnani days, to being back on top of the basketball world, the defending champs, the favorites to win it all, heading into the playoffs. Back-to-back 60-plus wins, the duo of Tatum and Brown were supposed to win multiple titles together. Having the most stacked team, star role players Derek White, Jrue Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis, Boston was supposed to finish New York in 5 games. But Jalen Brunson and the Nova Studs had other ideas. Many in the media mocked the Knicks, saying it'd be an accomplishment if they lose in 6, only to hear it from the fans.
How do you feel about Boston losing? I don't give a f***. Knicks is 6.
According to sports odds, this series, the second biggest upset not played in the first round, only behind number 1 on this list, which we'll get to shortly, New York's resiliency to never give up no matter how much they were losing. From back-to-back 20-point deficits to improbable wins at the buzzer with suffocating all-time great defense from Iron Man Mikal Bridges taking the ball away from Jalen Brown Game 1 to locking up Tatum final seconds Game 2, Mikal himself snatched the basketball souls out of the Celtics. Winning one of these games on the road were impressive enough, but stealing 2 in Boston in dramatic fashion gave many the indications the Knicks had a chance to upset the champs. Tatum's all-time absolute travesty stinkers shot a combined 12 of 42, 5 of 20 from 3 first 2 games, had some of the worst choke job performances, settled for terrible jumpers. The analytics of the 3-point shot ruined the Celtics' chances of repeating. JT bounced back Game 4, had 42 points before tearing his Achilles on a Brown loose ball. Even with the injuries, Boston was already down at that point. Knicks likely still would have beaten the season 6 regardless. Clutch Player of the Year, Brunson put on the finishing touches, masterful footwork, mid-range jumpers on point, the crossovers, threes, no matter who was on him. One of the biggest playoff risers in the game, the savior of New York Knicks basketball, took over and closed out, lived up every bit to his Captain Clutch nickname. Mitchell Robinson's impact Game 6 led the entire city to a frenzy. From being 0-4 to Boston in regular season play, the heart and effort of these 2025 Knicks team forever respected and cherished. The biggest second round upset all time, none other than the 2020 absolute travesty bubble Clippers. A minus 1300 favorite on the Nuggets. Being the title favorites, it was championship or bust. Everybody anticipated a super heavyweight battle of LA showdown when the series was set in stone, up double digits Game 5, having a 3-1 lead. Every ESPN pick was either Clippers in 5 or 6, not even 7. The famous Doc Rivers King of 3-1 Shivers choke job. The young coming Nuggets just played a brutal 7-game series, came back down 3-1 to Utah. Wasn't supposed to be their time yet. It was the arrogant of the role players acting like they already won. Shot themselves in the foot. Patrick Loudmouth Beverly, Marcus Morris, joined with Paul Millsap, lit a fire under the power forward, led to a massive Denver comeback. Lou Williams became officially washed after being in trouble for going to Magic City. Montrezl Harrell got exposed badly, labeled a massive defensive liability. Jokic destroyed him. Clippers even up 19 points Game 6 until Jokic went crazy. Joker himself became the best player that series. Jamal Murray heavily outplayed Pandemic P. Coach Rivers watched Trez get pounded repeatedly by Jokic. The Clippers not wanting to be in the bubble was absolutely not a valid excuse for their choking efforts. Given the Game 7 blowout, everybody just straight up speechless in disbelief. The 2020 Clippers had one of the most loaded squads you'll ever see, only to shit themselves in disbelief. Kawhi being in best player conversations, absolutely destroyed. Paul George, a top 3 MVP candidate the previous year, became one of the most hated Clippers player all time. This choke job of a travesty remains one of the biggest, most brutal shockers in NBA history. Honorable mentions: 2021 Sixers getting upset by Atlanta, 2018 Sixers losing to Boston, 1995 Suns getting upset by Houston, Minnesota beating Denver last playoffs, and 1989 second seeded Knicks getting upset by Michael Jordan's Bulls.